enjoying the process, not overthinking, taking things slower. These are all things that I need to get better at. Consider this episode a bit of therapy for me and for you. Welcome back to Bourdain.
Everybody should know how to use a knife.
Use everything, waste nothing.
Let's start at the beginning. It ain't that hard, okay?
I hope you're doing well. My name is Mitch May and I get made fun of for sitting with my legs crossed. It's comfortable. We're working through Anthony Bourdain's layout cookbook, doing every recipe for the first time in this tiny little kitchen the size of a thimble. Moules Normand, our last recipe for mussels. And in addition, I'm going to make simple, stupid simple bread made from scratch, which is getting ever more rare. Grab Anthony Bourdain's cookbook in the link of this video if you want to follow along. It reads like Bourdain. It's not like a cookbook. I say it time and time again. In our times full of tech and AI, it's bullshit. I hate it. However, it is nice to be able to YouTube a little quick tutorial, and that is exactly what I followed. A 5-minute baguette recipe in which I will link in the description of this video as well. The dude made one video for one channel. It is phenomenal. And let's get started. The recipe calls for 950 grams of baker's flour, aka bread flour. Didn't have that, so I did 600 grams of AP flour and 350 grams of whole wheat. Next up, 16 grams of salt. I'd be lying if I said this was exactly 16 grams. Give this a rough mix and then add 2 grams of instant yeast. Now we add 730 milliliters of filtered room temperature water. We can use a spoon, but whenever I can get my hands dirty, I intentionally will do so. Using my hand as a sort of paddle, I used to make bread quite often, and this process here is just kind of fun for me. When everything is nicely mixed and it's a sort of shaggy ball, we cover this. A little trick, give the rim of your bowl a little dab with water. This way the plastic wrap will stick easier, and this is going to rest overnight for about 8 to 9 hours. In the morning, it's always nice to have a reason to get up. You can see our bread has risen and is all jiggly. Technically it's dough still, I guess. Doesn't matter. We're going to sprinkle our board with a generous dusting of our flour, and using our hands or a bench scraper, shuffle this onto the board, being careful to not pound it out and get rid of all that lovely carbon dioxide we have. With our oven coming up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, I give this a very rough shape. Not shown in the video, but I feel like it was helpful, and we now cut this up into sections. Rough sections. We're not going super hard here with the technique. It's a little sticky. It's a little messy. If I could do this again, I think I would go even heavier with the flour initially on the board. But now we kind of make a mistake dusting our baking pan rather than putting parchment paper as our instructor says to do so. However, with keeping the thinking to a minimum and not shaping these super intensely, we put these out on our baking sheets and pop them in the oven for about 25 minutes. This is where I think things can get shoddy. They did come out cooked really nicely. Really nice crust to them. Totally got stuck to the baking tray. Next time we're going to use parchment paper, and I think next time we would have to kick down the heat a little bit because I did notice the crumb inside is a little too moist for my liking. Yep, I said that word, deal with it. For the actual work input here, not too shabby at all. Again, the video is linked in the description. I don't steal anything except when I go to the self-checkout lane. We have all our lovely ingredients laid out in front of us, ready to be prepped up. The mussels themselves were very simple. We've worked through them before. We combed through them for any dead ones, suspiciously light ones, or ones that smelled weird. We can remove those beards as well. They're not gonna hurt you, but they're not very pretty, and I certainly don't wanna chomp on a mussel's beard. Then we give them a rinse, and now they're sitting in the fridge. We're gonna chop up our ingredients, and I'm going to talk life, because that's what you have been asking. I went to Italy for 2 weeks. In that time, it made a huge impact. It was the first time in a while in which I felt actually a little calm. I didn't have stress, and I realized just how little we need, as cliche as that sounds, being an American, the warmth of the Italians, the passion, the food, and of course, I do realize it was heightened by the rose-colored tint of a vacation, but man, traveling it's a time. Super grateful for the time I had, for the friends I had that hosted me. Very cool. It was tough coming back. I'm still juggling a lot. I have an appointment coming up with my surgeon regarding my health. We'll see where that stands. Overall, I've never been more lost, but we're still cooking, so that's cool. We're chilling. It's part of the journey, I guess. Onto our mussels. We have everything nicely prepped up. We're gonna add a 1/4 pound of lardon, strips of bacon. So yeah, I did add a little bit of water. I heard that helps render out fat. I don't know if it's true. We got some nice browning here. I'm gonna lower the heat now, 4.5. Now, Bourdain would have us dump the discarded fat after simmering this down. I don't want to do that. I want to use this lovely fat and use the same pot. Then we add our mushroom and apple, cooking that for 5 minutes, scraping the bottom of the pot, dislodging that brown stuff. Lovely stuff happening. So we've arrived to our Calvados. Don't have Calvados. Dropped the ball a lot today. I'm going to use a little bit of vodka just to bring out some flavor, just to scrape the bottom of the pan here. I don't know if that does anything, dog. You gotta scrape up that fond, yo. Stir in the cream and season with salt and pepper. Once the mixture has come to a boil, we add our mussels and cover. While we're cooking away here at a heat that I don't know, I guess let's do like medium high because it is cream we're working with. Comment of the week from Chris Ford. Very nice of you to comment on the person rather than the YouTuber. Although I am a YouTuber, I'm like, I don't know what I am anymore. Mussels are coming along, cooked a little sooner than I thought. Took about 4 to 5 minutes for them to open. This bread, it's simple, it's crisp. It doesn't have that depth that you usually see from a nice sourdough starter, but we made it from scratch. The apple, the cream, the bacon, it's all these lovely savory notes. Definitely more of a wintry dish. They really had that big bang for your buck factor. If you want to join me, you can subscribe here. If you want to check out another video, I will see you next time.